again, we're doing the same thing over and over again. Why? Because this is what you're going to be doing on your third exam. You're going to be having to draw the best Lewis structure and then answer questions like these about it. Yeah. So one is going to be best Lewis structure. Well, since this is, I think, our last one we're going to be doing, I'll go through the whole process one more time. Each sulfur has 6 valence electrons. Each oxygen has 6 valence electrons, and there are 3 of them. And for the -2 charge, there you add 2 electrons. That's going to be 26 total electrons. So connect the atoms by single bonds, putting the least electronegative atom and usually the first atom in the formula in the middle, and then sprinkle all of the electrons on. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Now, all of my atoms have octets, and that's where you get to before you do the formal charge analysis. Now it's time to do formal charge analysis on this. If we do, we look at each of these oxygens, and they're all the same right now. So I'll just do formal charge on oxygen. 6 is the number of valence electrons from the periodic table. Each of these oxygens has 1 bond and 6 unshared electrons. So each of them will have a formal charge of -1. Which is 3-. So I bet this sulfur is going to be +1. That's because the sum of the formal charges on the atoms must equal the formal charge on the overall ion. And of course, that is how it's going to work. Sulfur has 6 valence electrons from the periodic table. It has 3 bonds and 2 unshared electrons. It has a formal charge of +1. So on exam 3, so if this was the final answer, you would say this is not the best Lewis structure because we have to minimize formal charge. So now we will minimize formal charge by forming 1 double bond and that double bond can be from any of the outside oxygens. So I just chose the bottom one. It could be any one. Still working on number 1, by the way. So O, O. And then fill in all the electrons. And label the formal charges. Oh, I always do this, and I will try to fix it now. I forgot this pair of electrons, now I've added them. And the formal charge on the sulfur is now 0. So that is the best Lewis structure with its correct formal charges. This question does not ask for it, but if it did, you would say that there are 3 resonance structures. And this question did not ask it, but if it did, you would say that the bond order for each of these is, there would be a double bond in this resonance structure and single bonds for the other two, so the bond order would be 4/3. And you would enter that in as 1.33 if you were asked on the homework. And you probably already got asked this for the last homework. Trying to cover all our bases here. All right, so let's see, best Lewis structure, check. Hybridization on the sulfur atom, well, hybridization, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 electron groups. That means that the hybridization will have 4 hybridized orbitals. The electron geometry will be tetrahedral. The approximate bond angles about the sulfur atom, well, on the exam it will always say accounting for any electron pairs on central atom. And that means that the answer for number 4 is less than 109.5 degrees. And finally, draw the shape with in and out wedges and dipole arrows. So here's our best Lewis structure. The shape is tetrahedral. And tetrahedral has 3 going partially down, 1 going straight up. And now my dipole arrows. And in fact, because of resonance, the best way to draw this is as if each of these is the same, because they are the same. That's what resonance means. Resonance means that all 3 of these bonds have bond order 1.33, somewhere between a single and a double bond. Any questions about that? Okay.
Can I please see the full page?
I think this is the full page. Well, I can back out a little bit.
Yes, thank you.